Hello, my name is Batista Cavodi. I'd like to welcome you guys to my channel. Today, we're going to talk about X-Force, and more specifically, X-Force issues 44 to 45. We have a big change of direction for the team. This comes after Age of Apocalypse. We have a new writer, Jeph Loeb, is on the series, and we have art by Adam Polina. And man, I love Adam Polina's art. It really captures the spirit of the time of the 90s. This came out in 1995. The aesthetic is there. So many things that are super familiar for me because I was a teen during that time. But at the same time, it feels really timeless. It doesn't feel dated when you see his work. It's very fresh. It works very well with these particular characters and the spirit of this title. So without further ado, we're going to dive into these two issues that really set the tone for everything that's going to go happen in the series. Like all the major plot lines, most of them start right here. So we have X-Force. They're in the X-Mansion. Cable and Xavier are talking about the future of the team, what's going to happen. We have Sunspot, who has arrived. Seemingly, they have resolved the whole mystery behind Rainfire and Sunspot, because X-Force thought Sunspot had gone bad. He became the leader of the Mutant Liberation Front. It was like a big mess, but seemingly it has been resolved. Cable fixes him up, but what we discover further down the line, the whole thing between Sunspot and Rainfire is insanely convoluted. It's not resolved. He's going to pop up again. But here, seemingly, Sunspot's really happy with the whole situation. We have Warpath, who's trying to find Siren. Warpath has a relationship with her. He's really in love with Siren, but she's been missing in action. No one knows where she is. I got to tell you, it's like Warpath from the beginning of X-Force, like he was really, really big and buff. He was like a walking tank. This is part of the tendency of to shrink him down in size in general, especially with the new member on the team. He's still really tall, but he's not like that walking tank dude. Especially to establish a contrast with a new member that's going to be on the team that I'm going to show you guys in 2 seconds. Also, Boom Boom or Meltdown, I don't know what the name she's using during this particular time, finds out that Sabretooth is actually recuperating in the Danger Room. Before the Age of Apocalypse, before everything went to shit, Wolverine popped his claws into Sabretooth's head. So Wolverine has caused major brain damage, and so basically Sabretooth doesn't remember who he is. There's a whole thing between if he remembers, if he's already healed or not, and that's going to be like a point of big tension for the members of X-Force, because Meltdown start to have a relationship with Sabretooth. She falls in love with him, and that's going to actually lead to a pretty interesting story arc, because a lot of people forget nowadays Wolverine, Deadpool, and Sabretooth pretty much heal immediately, but back then like their healing factors were a lot slower. So we have Sabretooth. He's hanging out in the X-Mansion. And that particular story arc with Sabretooth was awesome. I really loved it. So what we discover is Xavier and Cable have decided to forge an alliance between the X-Men and X-Force. At first, Cannonball thinks they're going to try to disband the team and said, nope, X-Force is going to keep on working. I'm going to be the leader of the team. He gives all the team all new uniforms. Like, you guys are going to work with uniforms. Cable gives a bow staff to Warpath. It's like, hey, you're going to use a weapon now. And so for those, like, people are really used to seeing him with knives and daggers nowadays, but he started off with a bow staff, and then a really weird weapon, a bow with some spikes on the point further down the line. And actually, Cannonball is not on the team, so it was like sort of a surprise for Sam, but he discovers that he has actually graduated and he's going to join the X-Men. So that was like a pretty cool evolution for Cannonball to join the X-Men, and I really liked him on that team. That particular time of the X-Men was really awesome. We have the introduction of Caliban on X-Force, which I really love, and that's the big buff dude that I was going to tell you guys about. The big hulking monster is going to be Caliban. And one really good thing about Caliban's, like, a lot of times simple-minded characters, childlike characters like Caliban, tend to be really irritating and stuff like that. But in the case of Caliban, they've always written him very well, so he doesn't bust my balls every time he pops up and I start skipping the page. I just really love his presence. I always feel really bad for this character. He's very tragic. So he's joining the team. He's pretty awesome. Cable actually doesn't call Richter to be part of the team, so he gets really pissed off and storms off. Like, here's what I'm talking to you about. Like, Polina would do these types of things in some panels. This art is just beautiful. I really love it. So here we get the new team with the new uniform. I just really love how the purple and yellow actually combines and works together. Shatterstar is also another awesome member on this team. I really like him, having him as like the fighter character. We have Meltdown, who's the one with the firepower. Sunspot's going to be the powerhouse. Caliban has his mutant tracking capability. And Warpath, he's sort of like the middle character that can do a lot of stuff. He's like, Warpath's place on the team is sort of weird as an archetype. So we see poor Siren on her secret mission. And in issue 45, what happens immediately is that Caliban, during the night, he goes to the danger room and starts kicking Sabretooth's ass. Because for those who don't know, Cable was part of the Marauders and killed a ton of Morlocks during the Mutant Massacre. So, and Caliban, every time he crosses paths with Sabretooth, wants to make him pay. So, and he already kicked Sabretooth's butt like 2 or 3 times prior to this. So, Caliban finds out he's in the danger room, basically just wants to kill him once and for all. It's hard to kill a character with healing factor. Meltdown had gone to the danger room to take a glass of milk to Sabretooth. That was like a thing. She started to fall in love with Sabretooth, so she would go every night. She finds the situation. She can't open the doors. And Cable intervenes and puts up a simulation of the Morlock tunnels and explains to Caliban that Sabretooth's mind is just not there. He doesn't remember what happened. You can't make him responsible because he's just not the same Sabretooth that he was. So Caliban understands the situation, begrudgingly just lets Sabretooth live. And so that particular confrontation, and that little detail of the writer bringing that whole thing that Caliban wants to kill Sabretooth, that was a real nice detail relative to the canon of the X-Men. Warpath wants to convince Caliban to help him find Siren, who is on her secret mission, but no one knows. Everyone's really tight-lipped about this whole situation. We have Beast wanting to study Shatterstar's biology, that further down the line we're going to discover some pretty weird things about Shatterstar. Then after that, the first big story is that X-Force goes to the Arctic Circle to investigate a whole situation, possibly a mutant popping up. They find this gigantic crater, and we have X-Force having to deal with Mimic. And I have like almost all the issues, the next 40 issues, and I don't have this one. I don't know where it is. So I'm going to leave this video here. Guys, go back and read Old School X-Force. It's really good. See you guys next time. Bye.